Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jays. Well, the Yankee series is over. We somehow snuck out the biggest Mickey Mouse win of all time. We'll talk about all the games and look ahead to the Mariners series on today's episode.
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jays. Thank you for making Locked On Blue Jays your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. We have the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnMLB. Use code all lowercase LockedOnMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Well, if you're wondering why I look like complete dumpster fire or I should be out on the beach somewhere, it's because we were at a Hawaii-themed social, or what is it? Hawaii-themed social?
Hawaiian-themed, yeah. With floral, just anything hot and nice that doesn't remind you of Winnipeg was pretty much the theme.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were at the pre-game to the social. It was out at my parents' place back in our small town. It was lots of fun. People came down, we played some games, and we had the Jays game on, of course, and we might have got too excited. I think there's a video out there of my head almost hitting the roof, but we couldn't quite pull that one out, and that was on Saturday. Just before we sort of get into all the games, I'll sort of quickly give you guys a rundown of the scores over the weekend. The first game against the Yankees, the Blue Jays 1-3 rip. We'll get into that because I have some stuff to say. Then the next game, couldn't quite pull out the comeback, a 9-8 defeat to the Yankees, and today, or Sunday, an 8-3 loss. I don't know. It's not exactly what you want to see, Carter. But I don't know. Your opinion. Just give me like a general opinion on the weekend. Your good thing, your bad thing. What were you seeing?
Yeah, overall, I mean, not the series you want against an AL East opponent. Obviously, the Yankees had a good start to the season, sweeping the Astros. The Jays, not so much, but it seems like we're continuing from last season. Lack of hits with runners in scoring position, lack of runs, lack of consistency from this offense. Some people are a little bit worried about the pitching. I know Bowden Francis didn't have a great day today. He did fly through the first two innings, but in that third inning, obviously gave up that grand slam to Giancarlo Stanton. Again, I'm not worried about this pitching when you're not getting consistent offense, when you're not scoring a lot, when you're not hitting with runners in scoring position, you're not giving your pitchers run support, and you're not stepping on teams' throats when you have the ability to, especially in today's game. So that's my biggest takeaway is the bats continue to look flat. We continue to lose out on timely hitting. We can't seem to score runs when we need them. We can't seem to step on teams' throats when we have the chance. I think that's why we lost this series 2-1 against the New York Yankees.
100%. It's the exact same thing. They keep bringing us back, and we hope for something else, and it's the same thing all the time. The runners in scoring position, we just can't drive in runs. We can't figure it out. So hopefully that we can somehow figure all this out, and the team can put together some clutch hitting. But holy moly, if they had a clutch hitting statistic, ours would be negative 1,000 right now. But yeah, I want to go to that 8-3, the 3-0 win against the Yankees to start it off, because I'm sorry. It's great that we won, but that one was gift wrapped and put under the tree. That was a gift, ladies and gentlemen, that game. We should have not won that. We should have not been close. We were lucky that the Yankees couldn't find their bats either, because that was just a horrible, horrible game.
No, I don't think it was the Yankees couldn't find their bats. I think it's just Yusei Kikuchi absolutely dog-walked them and show them who the father of the Yankees was. Absolutely an amazing performance from Yusei Kikuchi, going 5 1/3. I want to get his actual stat line as I'm loading it up here, but I know his fastball looked unbelievable. The command was looking really good. He started playing that slider off of it, getting some nice swing and miss. So his full stat line was 5 1/3 innings. He had 4 hits given up, only 2 walks, and 7 Ks on 96 pitches. That's exactly what you want from Yusei Kikuchi. A huge start, especially coming off a series where the bats weren't really alive from the Toronto Blue Jays, scoring 2 runs in 3 games against the Astros. So you needed good pitching in the first game of the series. Good thing we got it. Yimi Garcia looked great too. Henny Cabrera, Trevor Richards, pretty much everyone that came out of the bullpen, everyone that threw a pitch in that game looked amazing. And how about Ernie goddamn Clement? Are you kidding me? This guy comes in, pinch hit, home run. Pretty much the only earned run the Toronto Blue Jays got that game, because thanks to Nick Birdie, as I made that TikTok and YouTube short of him kind of Same the Blue Jays season, as some would say, but providing the Jays with some much needed runs and giving them that 3-0 victory. Again, only one run though earned. I mean, Nick Birdie and Jose Trevino, I think there was one ball he probably could have had there, but Nick Birdie's command looked pretty bad throughout that entire inning. So yeah, you get 2 insurance runs. Chad Green cleans it up. Not a very deserved win when you're only scoring 1 run, but your pitching staff's absolutely shut the door on the New York Yankees. So again, it is a little bit of a Mickey Mouse when you look at the offense and the 3 runs, but you get that Ernie Clement home run and then you get unbelievable pitching. But offensively, again, not up to the standard we're looking for.
No, and I mean, props to Ernie Clement because yeah, he came in and we were saying when I saw him not in the lineup of that game, I'm like, okay, so you're just gonna have no bats, cool. And then of course they pinch hit him, bang, over the wall. I'm like, okay, yep, this is why is he not in the lineup all the time? This is crazy. I want to move on to the next game. Of course, the 9-8 defeat. It was a tough one, a little bit of a heartbreaker. We were pretty upset. Carter was trying to smash my basement TV, which didn't appreciate, but
that thing was ancient anyway.
That thing is awesome. It's old. It might have been the first flat screen TV ever made, to be honest with you. But it was heartbreaking because it was also heartbreaking seeing Kevin Gausman struggle so mightily. 1 in the 3rd inning, he gave up 4 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned runs only, 2 walks, and also 2 home runs. So just not an ideal start for him. But like we've talked about a ton, is that Kevin Gausman's not our worry. He might have a bad start here and there, but he'll be back to it. I did see him. I'm not sure if he was icing or heating his shoulder during the game. So just keep an eye out for that, coming up. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. And maybe he was just a little tight. I don't know, but a little bit concerning there.
Yeah, I was definitely concerned, especially when you were looking at Kevin Gausman's fastball velo. I mean, he usually sits at around 95, and this game he was sitting at 90.9 with the fastball velo. And again, he's coming off of that shoulder injury. So for me, it was a huge red flag with the injury status of Kevin Gausman. But I think he did come out after the game and said that it was really cold in New York. So he just said for him, it wasn't an injury thing. It wasn't on his shoulder. It was just the coldness of the stadium. Just, I guess for early April months in New York, it's definitely not the warmest out. So if Kevin Gausman says he's okay, I think we're going to have to trust that. Maybe just a bad day from him. I mean, this Yankees lineup is really good. That Judge home run in the 1st inning, that was a pretty good pitch as well. Off the inside part of the plate, it's just Aaron Judge. This guy just smashes baseballs. And that it was kind of pissed me off a little bit watching Juan Soto come up and then Aaron Judge right after. And you're actually having your superstars produce a little bit of damage for the New York Yankees. Things that we aren't really getting from the Toronto Blue Jays, it seems like. But like you said, it was a great actually rally. Like in the 4th inning, we were down so much. I'm like, this game's probably over. Looking at the Toronto Blue Jays offense, we never score runs. So I'm like, there's no point even watching this. I actually was on my way to your house in the 4th inning. So I'm like, we'll throw on the Jays game there. But again, this one might just be more focus on the beverages compared to the Blue Jays baseball. But then, yeah, a little bit of life from Toronto Blue Jays. Davis Schneider again late in the innings. That got us fired up. I think that's almost when you smoked your head on your roof there.
Yeah.
A pretty exciting game, though. It's nice to see the Toronto Blue Jays score runs. Just can't, unfortunately, get it done when you give up 9 runs to the New York Yankees.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough, right? Because it was so what of the picture we're thinking, okay, well, keep the game on. That's, at least know what we're talking about on the podcast a little bit. And then it goes, holy moly, we're going to win this game. And then it's ripped away from us again. So it was sort of an up and down day of emotions. But you're right. The beers definitely helped. When you're 4 or 5 beers in and you're getting pumped, that's just awesome, summertime baseball months. It's the best time to watch baseball. You're with all your buddies, you're in your basement turning on the game. It doesn't get any better than that, besides, actually maybe being at the Diamond, but we'll be there eventually. No, it was a good day. The guys hit okay. Like Springer had a good day going 2 for 5. Vladdy 1 for 4. Doesn't jump off the page for me, but he also got the home run. So like you said, 1 for 4 with a home run, right?
Take it.
2 for 4, Bichette, 1 for 3 with JT. Vogie 1 for 4. He just is not it at all right now. It's making me upset. 2 for 4, Ernie. Again, he's just playing unbelievable. You got to keep this guy in the lineup. And then Varsho 0 for 3. Then they bring in Schneider and he goes bang, bang, home run. Love it. Why are Davis and Ernie both not in the lineup every single day? I will never let this go. I'm going to be on Twitter, I think, the next week, and I'm just going to tweet it every single day until they're in the lineup consistently.
No, that Davis double in the late innings actually had me believing that we were going to come back. Cavan Biggio with the single. I really thought we had it there. But unfortunately, we can't get it done. I mean, it is what it is. You're not going to win every Blue Jays baseball game. The thing is, you do want to win the majority of them, unfortunately. You don't want to drop 2 out of 3. But my biggest takeaway of the series, and again, not as much of this game. I think this is the only game that the Toronto Blue Jays really showed life from the plate. But again, it's what we talked about all off season, and that's George Springer, it's Vladdy, it's Kirk, it's Varsho, and I'm going to throw Bichette in to start with this one because all 5 of these players are not playing well at all. George Springer played okay in the last 2 games. Maybe he's coming around a little bit, but you're not getting anything from Bo. You're not getting anything from Vlad. Anyone, honestly, any of the guys, again, you need to rely on for this offense, you're not getting production out of. So I did some research on this, and I looked at all 5 of these players' combined stats the first 10 games of the season. So all of these 5 combined, they have 166 at-bats. They're hitting 173 with 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, and a 566 OPS. That's horrible. That is terrible from guys that are supposed to be superstars, supposed to be some of the best players in the league. And this is why the Toronto Blue Jays offense is so bad. We're 26th in the league in team average. It's not going to get it done. We're bottom 3rd in every single offensive category other than home runs, actually. Home runs, we are tied for 9th. Again, they're all solo shots mostly, which is the problem. You need runners on base if you're going to be hitting home runs. A solo shot is usually not a huge deal to give up, especially if you're a starting pitcher. You give up 2 solo shots, you go 6 innings, you're probably going to take that if you're putting out that starter. So again, you need your superstars to hit baseballs. 173 is not going to get it done ever. It doesn't matter. Honestly, 173, if you're hitting a home run, if there was like 10 home runs here, still, I don't think that's doing it for me. This team needs to be able to string hits together. And that's what got me excited a little bit on that Saturday night game is we were finally getting hits strung together. We were finally getting this team hitting all at once rather than you get 2 guys on with no outs and then you get nothing from the rest of the lineup. So I was hoping that this game was going to help this offense turn a page. Clearly didn't end up happening.
No, and it is frustrating. You're right. We were so everybody in the basement. We were watching that game. It was electric down there. We were all firing. It was great. You got to see all the boys hitting. It was awesome. And then I go and watch today's game, and it's again sort of the complete opposite. And it's a boring game to watch. I'm like, should I just turn this off? Like it's that bad right now. So that's very frustrating. I do want to get into Sunday's game, and we'll do that right after the break here. But I also wanted to point out, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. We're going to keep you guys up to date on there as well. Braden 5 Wasco, Carter First 2. And on YouTube, we notice a lot of you guys aren't subscribed. So drop us up. It helps us out, keeps us at the top of your guys' page. You get Blue Jays news every single day. And then follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Locked On Blue Jays. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about Game 3.
Today's podcast is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play fantasy sports because it's just you against the numbers. Instead of betting against thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than on a 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. So again, I just went over this. The Blue Jays are not hitting, and we'll get into this more in depth as we cover the Mariners series. But we got Luis Castillo on Monday. So he is one of the best pitchers in the American League. So that is inspiring me to hammer pretty much every single Toronto Blue Jays under again, unfortunately, because this team has not shown me that they can hit yet consistently. So I got Alejandro Kirk under hits. I have IKF under hits. Unfortunately, I have Vladdy under hits. And then I just have under runs in the game. Castillo versus Berrios is going to be a pitching duel. Hopefully, I am proved wrong on PrizePicks. But I mean, I guess in this sense, it's either the Blue Jays win, and I'm happy in that sense, or I can make a little bit of money. So I guess it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. I'm going to have to take a shot to have some happiness, unfortunately, from PrizePicks and the Toronto Blue Jays. So if you guys want to join me in my PrizePicks picks, or if you want to make your own, maybe you can best me and Braden. Clearly, our success is not consistent. It's pretty much the exact same as the Toronto Blue Jays bats. You win some, you lose some. And maybe that's why our betting is similar to the Toronto Blue Jays offense, because we're watching this team every single day. It's having a little bit of an impact on our lives. So if you want to join us, you can download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit matchup to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit matchup to $100.
just before we roll into game 3 here, I just want to say I'm on an absolute heater right now on FanDuel. So, I know you're the Prize Picks guy. I seem to be the FanDuel guy. We just keep, we both try to just earn our keep that way. But yeah, I'm doing well. I'm winning lots. I moved away from their same game parlays, or they're not the same game parlays, but the pre-built ones. And I started making my own again for baseball season, and it's been working for me. So we'll see. I usually throw out 2 bets a day, like $5 bets, 2 a day, and then I roll with it and see how I can do. I'm doing well. I'm up like $50 right now. So I'm
That's
just,
not bad at all,
it's a
actually.
slow build. I'm slow building it. I'm not going for any crazy 5-game parlays or anything like that, but I'm working it. I'm working.
It's funny. We were talking yesterday, and we were just talking about just betting picks like that, just betting on the Jays. I've been really good this season on picking player props and stuff like that. But if the Jays are going to win or lose, good luck. I'm 0 for seems like 10 actually. We'll go into that when we go into our episode or I guess our scenario, Jesus Christ, where we predict outcomes for the upcoming Toronto Blue Jays series. I think it's closer now because I got the series right. Didn't get a lot of the games right, like I said again, but we'll get into that later. Braden, I guess we'll move into game 3. A lot of disappointment throughout the game, an 8-3 loss at the hands of the Yankees again. I guess we'll start with Bowden Francis. Again, he looked unbelievable in the first 2 innings. He struck out the side in the first inning. Third inning gets to him a little bit. How'd you feel about Bowden Francis's start against the New York Yankees?
Yeah, it wasn't great. It's not necessarily what I want to see, but it's his second start, right? We sort of got to give this guy a little bit of a break. Let him figure everything out. So again, the pitching really isn't a huge worry for me. I know a lot of these guys are 100% professionals, or Bowden Francis, who I fully have belief in that will come up and be a great starter. So for me, it's mostly just the bats. The bats are just frustrating. It's just frustrating to watch. I get to points in the game where I'm debating turning the game off, and that's just obviously not a great thing for a guy who has a Blue Jays podcast. But that's just the emotion, right? I get pissed off. I get upset because I know how good this team should be, and they're not. And they show you spurts. Like Saturday's game, they show you spurts of what they can be, and then they let you down.
Well,
so
and the third inning in this game as well. Obviously Bowden lost a little bit in the third inning, but the Jays had something going against I think I can't remember to pronounce this guy's name. I think we butchered it on the podcast. It's not Jill. It's Hill or something.
It's something weird. I don't know. It's
anyway, it's a Yankees bum, but clearly he owns the Blue Jays, so maybe we're gonna have to get used to him. That's how it's spelled. It's not pronounced like that. Anyway, this guy, he was walking the house again. The Toronto Blue Jays have no opportunity to score. There's bases loaded in the top of the third inning. We do get a walk with 1 run, but this is an opportunity where you need to step on the Yankees' throats. He is struggling. The command is lost, and we only manage a walk out of it. And then the New York Yankees, they get an opportunity with the bases loaded. And I'm going to stick to this. I don't care that Stanton hit a grand slam. Stanton absolutely sucks. That guy's terrible. Again, hit a grand slam. Not really looking good for me right now. We talked about this, I know, off the podcast in fantasy because I said you were done for picking Stanton. Clearly, I got a little bit of karma for that because he absolutely hammered that ball off of Bowden. But that's the New York Yankees hitting with runners in scoring position, hitting with timely at-bats. You get 5 runs in the inning, and now it's a 5-1 baseball game. And do you think the Toronto Blue Jays are coming back from that? They tried to on Saturday, but as you know, the Toronto Blue Jays offense is not consistent at all. So there was no way we were going to score 5 runs in that game. I think after that grand slam, the game was pretty much over. Tough to come back. The offense, again, loading the bases throughout the game, getting runners in scoring position, but you're getting infield pop-outs. You're getting lazy fly balls that aren't even far enough to be sack flies. You're getting strikeouts. You're not getting the hits you need in the timely manners where you need to win baseball games. And again, it comes down to those key moments in the game. And clearly the New York Yankees were just making the most of their opportunities. The Toronto Blue Jays clearly were not.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It all comes down to hitting with runners in scoring position. That's how you win ball games. You got to score some runs. You got to pitch well, and you got to score some runs. And the Blue Jays do one of those things somewhat consistently. The other, not so much at all. We do want to get into lots more. I do want to give you guys a quick update. Alek Manoah, of course, had his single A start, and it wasn't good. This is what he says. Body felt good that game. Okay, so that headline, that dragged me, and I'm like, okay, how did he do? It must have been all right. He gave up 7 runs in an inning and 2/3.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't care how good I don't care how good you're feeling. You gave up 7 runs in single A. It's horrible.
Oh, it's funny. I got his. I saw this. This reading where it had all of his pitches and where he threw them, and oh my goodness, it is all over the place. I wish I could pull it up for the fans here, or maybe I can post it on Instagram, something like that. That might be a
We'll
good
make an
idea.
Instagram post.
Because this is terrible. I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I mean, an inning and 2/3. I got 6 earned runs here, 4 walks, 5 hits. It doesn't matter that I saw he was topping out at 96. He could be throwing 110 if you're walking 4 guys in an inning and 2/3. It's not going to work out. You're not like this guy's so far away from the MLB. This is a single A start. This isn't double A. This isn't triple A. This is single A, and he is getting absolutely destroyed, demolished on the mound. So again, if we have a starting pitching injury, yeah, Paulo Espino actually looked okay today. Mitch White was okay out of the bullpen. But it's definitely not Alek Manoah's season. He is far away from this team. You're not seeing this guy pitch in the major leagues in April. You'll be lucky to see him in May or June by the looks of it. I haven't seen any progress at all. And as we see these stat lines, again, I'm not watching these games because who would want to watch Alek Manoah do that even and throw just a million balls in a row? But this is just concrete for me that we're not gonna be able to rely on this guy at all throughout the season. Hopefully, Bowden France can pick it up, and we're going to have to get some innings from Mitch White, Paulo Espino, maybe Nate Pearson. So it's going to be a little bit different than we thought going into the season.
Yeah, and you know what? Velo's great. Velo is great, but the only good thing that's coming out of his velo right now is that when he hits a guy with a pitch, at least it might sting a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe that's the plan. He's putting some fear into the opponent's hearts because, I mean, he doesn't even know where the baseball's going. And sometimes when you're up there and you got some wild pitchers, it gets in your head a little bit. Yeah, especially when they're crowding you inside with it. I mean, 96 is nothing to scuff at. So maybe that's his plan. He's trying to put some fear into the hearts. Maybe throw up some stingers at him, make him remember how much it hurts to get hit with the baseball, and try to get some outs that way. I mean, all I want from Alek Manoah is to get outs. So, I mean, if somehow he finds out a way to do that, I don't really care how it goes. If he's going to hit 5 batters in a game, but then go 6 innings and only give up like 2 runs somehow, if he's going to pull some Jordan Romano moves and get out of some jams, I'd be okay with that. But again, I don't think we're going to see Alek Manoah. Not someone we're going to have to rely on. And it's going to get to a point we're going to have to say, is Alek Manoah completely done? Is he going to be ever able to come back and even be a serviceable pitcher in the MLB? Only time will tell, I guess. It's not looking good right now. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on the major league team, not some guy that is struggling in single A.
Yeah, you know what? He's so far away, he might as well be with Bradley Zimmer on like Mars or something because he is gone. Anyway, we're going to go over the home opener series coming up against the Mariners right away, right after this break.
Just before we do get into that, though, I did want to throw it over to our Locked On 24/7 streaming channel. March Madness is coming to a close. Caitlin Clark is obviously going off. That's crazy storylines there. NHL playoffs coming up soon. The Canucks hopefully locking down the Pacific Division. Ton of sports going on. One of the best times of the year to be a sports fan. So if you guys want to take the opportunity to get some expert information, you can go over to our Locked On 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube and subscribe. Whether it's 7 a.m., 7 p.m., they're always available. So just go over there whenever you have time to digest some sports content.
Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. As you guys all know, I am a huge Game Time fan because they hooked us up with tickets. We wanted to go to a Jets game earlier this season, sat 4 rows up from the glass, super cheap tickets, like ridiculously cheap tickets. We actually thought it was like a mistake. That's how good of a deal it was. And yeah, it was a great time. I've never sat that close to the glass before at a hockey game. It was unbelievable. And I've been doing some looking on some Blue Jays games that me and Carter have been debating going to. And yeah, it's so much easier to go on Game Time. Like, I don't understand why anybody else would use any other ticketing app. It is that good. And you can see your seat in the app. So when you click on your seat, the one that you're looking at, you can see the actual view from there. So, okay, I actually, this is a good place to watch. Am I going to be right down the third baseline? Am I going to be too high up? Whatever. It's unbelievable. They also have last minute deals as well. So you can save up to 60% off last minute when you're going to sports, concerts, comedy, theater. They got tickets for everything. They have flash deals. You can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of games or events. They have all-in pricing, which is a great feature because you know exactly what you're paying without any hidden fees. They also have the seat view, as I talked about. It's such a good add-on. then they have the lowest price guaranteed as well. Or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. For a limited time, all users can get $20 off any MLB purchase of $150 or more in the Game Time app with code FIRSTPITCH. Terms apply. That's code FIRSTPITCH for $20 off from March 25th to April 14th only. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
Man, as you were reading that, I'm just still looking at this Alek Manoah like pitch chart, and it literally looks like when you're 5 years old and someone just made like a connect the dots for you, like on like a just random page of loose leaf, and it's like you just went ham. You went all over the page. You know, you got to use up all the space. This is something, man. This is something. I mean, good thing we have starting pitching depth, because I mean it would be kind of funny to see this guy in the MLB, because I feel like he might give up a million runs. So, I mean, maybe instead of IKF, we can throw in Alek Manoah to be the guy when the game's already out of reach. You just throw in that guy, get some innings in.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I think you throw them out there. You get the batters a little bit of afraid of them. Like, oh my goodness, are they going to throw Alek Manoah in for an inning just to hit 4 of our batters?
Maybe you throw him in the first inning and you put some fear into the Yankees' hearts. You hit Juan Soto, you hit Aaron Judge, throw him on base. Maybe get him a little bit scared for the rest of the series.
I fully believe Aaron Judge is made of steel. I think if that guy took a pitch off the jaw, he would just brush it off. He's an absolute monster, that guy.
You just come up next to that bat and smoke one 460 feet.
Yeah. Like center. Nothing happened. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess no more Yankees for a couple weeks only. We get them again, actually, in Toronto coming up. So, but then after that, the Blue Jays only play the Yankees 13 times this year, and they play them 6 times in the first couple of weeks. So again, not going to see the Yankees a ton in the middle of the season, sort of like last season where we had the Yankees a lot at the start, the first third of the season, then didn't see them at all until like the last 3 weeks. So again, going to be like that with the AL East and the Yankees. But I guess we'll move on to tomorrow's Blue Jays game. We have another pitching duel, Luis Castillo versus Jose Berrios. Are the Blue Jays going to score a run even against Luis Castillo?
I got something on
for against this game.
He's 0-2 so far this year. So I think we jump on him. This is our game.
What's his ERA? How's he been? Because obviously he has electric stuff, but if his command's falling off a little bit, maybe this is the chance for.
You're not gonna believe what his ERA is.
I just got it now. Yeah,
6.75.
That's not good. That's not good. Maybe the Toronto Blue Jays have a chance here. Obviously, Jose Berrios has been a dog. Maybe this is a confidence booster game. The Toronto Blue Jays can take advantage of one of the best hit pitchers in the American League who's struggling. So again, yeah, Luis Castillo, our right-hander. So I'm assuming we're gonna have Cavan, Biggio, Daulton, Varsho, which, I mean, his at-bats have been ridiculous.
Just horrible, man. Oh, my God.
I'd want him to be good so bad, but it's hard to watch his at-bats recently. But again, yeah, so we got the Mariners, 3-game set. Braden, we'll start with the first game. We got Jose Berrios again against Luis Castillo. How do you see that game faring?
That's a Blue Jays win. Lock it in now. It's going to be a low-scoring affair, but we're going to win.
Okay, I like that. You definitely got to hammer the under in that game. Again, Jose Berrios. I'm not really scared of the Mariners offense, to be honest. I mean, they don't have Teo. They don't have Suarez anymore. I mean, they do have Julio Rodriguez, who's always going to be scary. But, like, other than that, like Ty France, for me, that's not moving the needle too much. But, again, when you got the Toronto Blue Jays offense, you might only need 2-3 runs to win a baseball game. So it's going to be interesting. I think this is a must-win series. I'm going to say it right now, the first one of the year. You're starting off 4-6 after a pretty ugly road trip. You got the Mariners at home, opening day at the Rogers Center. I'm going with you. I think the Blue Jays need to win this game, take advantage of Castillo struggling. I knew he was like struggling a little bit. I didn't realize it was 6-7-5 struggling.
Yeah.
So again, you need the Toronto Blue Jays to jump on him here. But this is the most typical Luis Castillo 7 scoreless I've ever seen.
Yeah.
What a team to get your stuff back against than the Toronto Blue Jays. It seems like we just revived everyone's careers because Ronald Blanco took a no-hitter into the 5th inning again against the Texas Rangers. Did end up giving a hit, but again, 6 innings pitched. Maybe this guy is the new Cy Young. I don't know what's going on over there. But I have some other news I wanted to get into as well, mostly about Erik Swanson, actually. I don't have a ton on Jordan Romano, so I think that just means he's still decently far away from coming back. A guy that we can expect within this next week. Maybe we do see him the week after. But I got from Shy to Vidi, Erik Swanson will throw an inning in a rehab game for Single-A Dunedin tomorrow. And then that's Alek Manoah as well is supposed to throw another 4-inning game. Again, I'm not sure.
So that'll be 1 inning and then see you later. That's what that'll be.
It says 65 pitches for Alek Manoah. That might take 1 inning. So That's unfortunate. I just want to see something good from Alek Manoah. I think we probably won't talk about him on this podcast too much because it's just all negative around Alek Manoah pretty much all the time. But again, they have another update, and they pretty much just says that the Jays will assess the next steps for Swanson based off how he feels physically after that simulated game. So Erik Swanson getting close to coming back. I don't know if we'll see him against his former team in the Mariners, but a guy that we're going to need down the stretch. I think this bullpen hasn't been too bad so far this season. I think it's pretty middle of the pack. Again, it seems like when they're coming in, it's either the Jays are up a million runs or we're down a pretty decent amount. So not a lot of high leverage from them this year. No. But again, always nice to have one of your best pitchers on the team, Erik Swanson, coming back to this bullpen.
Yeah, and honestly, it's our two best guys we have out right now. So you can't expect our bullpen to be immaculate because, when you're missing two of your best guys, it hurts us. It hurts us. It hurts any team. No, and to be honest with you, looking at this Mariners series, I'm not blown away by their offense. You said it, not unbelievable, but their pitching staff, their starters are real good. So it's going to be a tough test for the Blue Jays here with already struggling bats. It's going to be interesting, I think. I did want to get your series prediction, and we won't go into the other two games a whole lot, but your series prediction, Carter, what do you got?
I want to look at the pitching matchups. I'm assuming we have George Kirby.
Yeah, and then it's Gilbert the next day.
Oh, and you got Logan Gilbert as well. So definitely some tough pitchers to go against for a struggling offense. I'm saying it's a must-win series, so I feel like I have to pick a 2-1 here. I'm just trying to figure out where I want the losses and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to go with a win against Castillo. I think hopefully the Toronto Blue Jays can squeak out like a 3-2 win or something along those lines.
Yeah.
For some reason, Chris Bassitt, I feel like he's going to get the short end of the stick again. So I'm going to go with an L in the second game, and then I'm going to give Kikuchi the win in the third.
I was going to be with you. I'm not going to be with you. I'm going to go a Bassitt win and a Kikuchi loss.
All right. So, we got that set up. Hopefully, the Toronto Blue Jays can win their first series of the year, their first series at home. I think it's a huge series for them. 4-6 after 10 games. Not really going to do it. I know, again, it has been a tough schedule. You got the Yankees, the Rays, the Astros. These are all teams that are definitely going to be in the playoff hunt. But again, when you don't have offense, you have your best players hitting 173. That's not good through the first 10 games. And we feel like we could just do a recording and just almost have the same thing after every single game. We're just looking for change. We're looking for some offensive power. We're looking for just anything, honestly. And Don Mattingly actually came out with a quote that said, "We're not just chasing for power. We just want good at bats, and we want to swing at good pitches." That hasn't been happening at all. If that's their approach, it doesn't look like it is because, again, I went over this in the Astros series. We're swinging early in counts, not taking a ton of pitches, and making very soft contact. It did a little bit better in this Yankee series about getting into deeper counts. But again, it doesn't seem like we're making great contact in a lot of these at-bats.
And the one thing I noticed is we're swinging like we're out of our shoes. Like,
guys, Bichette swings were bad.
Just have a nice, relaxed swing. Try to put something out there. Like, just help yourselves out here. Every swing doesn't need to be a home run swing.
Well, that's the problem with Bichette, though, is that when Bichette makes a swing like that and he's hot and he's hitting 400 in the last couple of weeks, you're going to take that. But then when he's hitting 170 and he's swinging at a slider that's a foot and a half off the plate when you have runners in scoring position, you're not really too happy about it. But I mean, that's part of the Bichette experience. That's probably the guy of those five I'm the least worried about. He's going to figure it out. But I can't say that I'm not worried about the other four. I think something's got to give. I think Springer's been the best out of those four, then probably Vladdy, and then Varsho. Varsho's been tough to watch. And I have him as hitting 30 home runs this year. So not looking good. Not looking good, but it is 10 games in the season, so it is still early. There is 162 games in the season for a reason. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching. Before we do head out, I wanted to throw it over to our Locked On 24/7 streaming channel one more time. March Madness, NBA basketball, college sports going crazy right now, the NHL. One of the best times of the year to be a sports fan. Just go to the Locked On 24/7 channel today and subscribe. Whether you want to tune in at 7 a.m., 7 p.m., 1 p.m., whatever it is, perfect opportunity to get some expert info about the teams you love.
Yeah, it's been Carter, it's been a week. I feel like I've been on the up and down with this team a little bit. But you know what? We're going to be here all week covering them. Hopefully we'll get to cover some wins. We'll get to cover, hopefully the bats rejoin us and, we can actually have a fun week of podcasting and not being well, we're gonna have to talk about how bad the bats are again and
I mean,
again.
in some like okay news, Addison Barger absolutely launched a bomb today. I think it was like a 455 feet for his first home run of the season. Arjun Nimala's first pro league home run. So I mean, I guess from like in the system, you got a couple of good things going on. But again, Arjun Nimala's 18, not
Yeah.
going to be playing for the Toronto Blue Jays this year. Maybe we do see Addison Barger, but with how they're playing, David Schneider and Ernie Clement, probably the best two hitters on the team so far. Not playing them regularly. I mean, good luck, Addison Barger, to say the least. Braden, you got anything else to add about this Yankee series or Mariner series coming up?
No, we appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you drop a sub if you haven't already. We appreciate it. Go check out all our other stuff on Instagram and TikTok on Locked On Blue Jays. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, hopefully after a nice win.